Well, just so everybody knows where I'm coming from here, there's a couple things about special assessment and general obligation bonds. I would like to see a mixture, and I'll tell you why. A, we can get more done. Because we have more money to work with. Versus having straight GO versus doing it all special assessment. Okay. The second thing is, and I'm not trying to cast blame on anything here or anybody or any previous whatever, but like you said, that North 5th Street has been the last major project. We have not had, the city has not had any major street work done. We have not had, and Bob, you can correct me, we've never hired anybody to come in and do crack repair. You know, we have some streets in town here that, you know, in the summertime, they almost need mowed, especially along the curbs or whatever. All right, and you know, you see the county and the state, they're always blowing cracks and filling those cracks to keep the moisture out so their streets last longer. Okay, now with that in mind, you know, and keep in mind, I'm not here to point fingers at nobody, but this is what's happened. Okay, so for whatever reason, we have now streets that are needing repair. Some of them more repair than others. And since we haven't, as a body here, the town, been doing anything for a long time to keep some of these repairs up, especially blowing the cracks and filling them with tar or whatever, you know, and keeping some of that moisture out so they last longer than what, you know. I think, that's why I think, personally, that we ought to do like a 50-50. Because I do feel that the city has some obligation here, because of past practices, to try to do something with that. And we could also utilize more money that way. That's my thought. But Gary, you've been on this council a long time. Bob, you've been on this city for a long time. Now keep in mind, I'm not, you know.
No, I realize that.
What you're saying is right. And funding and this sort of thing.
That's why I'm not pointing anything.
But and maybe your idea, well, some of these, that's what I say, alternate or whatever it is, maybe cut some a little short and put a little more into maintenance.
Well, and maybe I can save us a little bit of time here. Is anyone against, and I'm not saying what that mix is, but is anyone against a mix scenario? Because technically,
we're going to get involved with the mixed scenarios
because of deficiencies.
Anyway,
yeah.
Correct, and that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
it sounds like to me that we all seem to have no objection to a mixed scenario. We may disagree on what those percentages are,
yes,
but that can almost be dealt with better through the engineering process than this anyway. But at least that would probably give me enough information to move forward with the proposal, to be all honest. If I can explain to him that we plan on paying for this project with a mix that would include a portion of special assessment along with a portion of general obligation.
But wouldn't we actually spend more money as far as the city is concerned if we went with a mix? Because the special assessments on certain properties will have more of a deficiency, which we have to turn around and pick it up on the city side. Is that not correct?
That would be,
yeah.
Yes.
So we could end up spending a lot more money city-wise and putting more money in than we would being able to go back to the property.
But we would be able to, but like I said, this is an area where we can make adjustments in the process.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not asking to set anything in stone in this process. If you remember, my original request to the council was a direction so that I could prepare the proposal. And that, I'm telling you, I think that would be enough for me to give them some direction on my proposal on which way we would like to go. That our plan is to go with some form of a mix. We are not 100% sure on how that mix would look, but we do want to move forward with that with the mix in place.
Okay.
Do you have any, I mean, if
basically special assessments the mix anyway.
Right.
But it's going to be based on that percentage. That's
Correct.
what I.
But what do you feel? What are you thinking, Gary?
What I'm saying, I have no idea. I'd like to see what the engineers have got to say.
That's where finding
Yeah,
the numbers.
see, that's where the numbers will come from the engineer. He'll give us
that would allow us
to look at the numbers.
right.
See, right now.
Once they do estimates, they can then look at the property situation
Exactly.
and give us a full evaluation, and then we can start looking at how to adjust those numbers. But it at least lets the engineer know up front that that is our plan.
Right.
To do that as
I
a
have
part
no
of their
problem with it, but
project.
I'm just saying, I just think we need to see what his figures